Welcome to Wirefly Arena, where we are about to witness several minutes of screen-to-screen combat known as a Schmackdown. In this corner we have the Samsung Fascinate, an Android 2.1 phone that works on the Verizon network. And in the other corner we have the HTC Droid Incredible, an Android 2.2 phone that also works on the Verizon network. And now, are you up for a Schmackdown? Let's get it on! Hey everyone, this is Bob, the cell phone professor here in the Nerve Center at the Wirefly complex. And we are going to be doing a Schmackdown on two great recent phones. This is the Samsung Fascinate, and this is the Droid Incredible from HTC, both of them working on the Verizon network. So let's start with the physical comparisons. As you can see, the Samsung Fascinate is just a little bit bigger, a little longer and a little wider than the HTC Droid Incredible. However, the Samsung Fascinate is thinner than the Droid Incredible. So they both have about the same amount of size, and they both will fit in a pocket. They are both Android phones. However, the Fascinate is Android 2.1, while the Droid Incredible is Android 2.2. So that gives you a little one-up in the Android department when you're going with the Droid Incredible. They both weigh about the same. The Fascinate weighs about 4.5 ounces, and the Droid Incredible weighs about 4.6 ounces. However, personally, I find that the Fascinate seems to weigh much lighter than just 1/10 of an ounce would indicate. Both of these phones can do HD video, and I will show an HD video clip from each phone so that you can compare. Let's take a look at that now. First, we're going to go with a clip from the Samsung Fascinate. I'm on the Wirefly campus just outside the building. Here is a crepe myrtle tree with some pretty blossoms. And you can see that the HD resolution from this camera is pretty good, and the sound works pretty good as well. Okay, that was the Fascinate. Here is an HD video clip from the Droid Incredible. This is a test of the HTC Droid Incredible's video and audio capability. This is a crepe myrtle tree outside the Wirefly campus building. Just taking a look to see what the video looks like. Okay, that was the clip from the Droid Incredible. Both of those are in 720p HD. And I've done a lot of video, and to be honest with you, the video from both of those cell phones, keep in mind these are cell phones, not dedicated cameras. The video from both of those cell phones is really nothing to get too excited about. You can get a relatively inexpensive HD camera and get much better video. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the photography. Both are very easy to use cameras. It's right here on the front of the Samsung Fascinate. Push a button and there you go. You can see that the camera is functioning. Very easy to use. You touch the on-screen icon here to take a picture. You can also switch easily between still image and video, and again you touch the same button to roll and stop video. So on the HTC Droid Incredible, you also have to get the phone working here. You also have a simple way to get the camera going. You touch the camera icon and there you got your camera going. With the Droid Incredible, you slide out this to change from photo to video. You have your settings menu here. I think it's maybe a little easier to manage photos and videos on the Droid Incredible than it is on the Samsung Fascinate, but both are still pretty easy to do. So they're both pretty good. They both take decent quality still images, but not fantastic. The Samsung Fascinate is rated at 5 megapixels, and the Droid Incredible is rated at 8 megapixels. So you tend to think that the Droid Incredible can do much better with still images. However, the fact is that when you do the arithmetic to determine what the actual megapixel count is, The Samsung Fascinate works out to 4.9 megapixels. Now that's multiplying the width of the actual photo by the height of the actual photo. And the Droid Incredible works out, surprisingly, to just 6.4 megapixels. Even though it's rated at 8, when you actually multiply the width of the picture by the height of the picture, it works out to 6.4 megapixels. So the difference between the two cameras from a photo resolution standpoint is just not that great. They both have 800 by 400, excuse me, I'm sorry, I missed a point there. The Samsung Fascinate has an 800 by 400 Super AMOLED screen. Now AMOLED stands for Active Matrix Organic Light Emitting Diode. It's the latest technology with displays. On the other hand, the HTC Droid Incredible has, I think, because the information on this is a little vague, has, I think, a standard LCD screen, and the image is 800 pixels by 480 pixels. So even though the screen is a little smaller on the HTC Droid Incredible, it's a higher resolution screen. How small is it? The HTC Droid Incredible has a screen that's 3.7 inches diagonal, while the Samsung Fascinate has 4 inches diagonal. I have sat down and used both phones, and from my standpoint, I prefer the larger screen. Okay, it's a little less resolution, but it's a little easier for me to work on it, especially when I have to type on the screen, because neither of these has a slide-out keyboard. Whenever you type, it's on the screen. Now, with the Samsung Fascinate, you have to do all of your navigating on the screen. It's a very pretty screen. It's easy to use. You can drag things around. Whoops. You can drag things around, and it's very attractive. Looks really good. But everything has to be done on the screen. With the Droid Incredible, you can do everything on the screen just like you did with the Samsung Fascinate, but you also have this little optical joystick over here, which, by the way, is what you use to take pictures, both for still images and video. And you can also use it to navigate around the screen. So if you have to move around a form, you're filling out a form or something like that, I give that to the Droid Incredible because of its little extra joystick. I haven't quite got the hang of using it perfectly yet, but I did have to fill out a form the other day using this phone, and it worked pretty well. So there's a few different things. As I mentioned, both of these are on the Verizon network, so you get all the advantages of Verizon's nationwide, very well saturated network. I've gotten pretty good speeds on both. I've done several speed checks on both, and I've gotten speeds as high as 850K or so. Haven't gotten any speeds higher than that, no 1 megabit speeds, but so far, pretty good. I can't complain about that. Now, the Samsung Fascinate comes with a 16 gigabyte micro SD card in it. The HTC Droid Incredible comes with a 2 gigabyte micro SD card. So big difference, 16 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes. Both phones have, well, actually this phone, Samsung says it has a 16 gig of embedded memory in it as well, while HTC says that the Droid Incredible has 8 gig of embedded memory in it. I've plugged them both into computers, and I can't quite find all of that memory. So I think that much of it is being used by applications. But still, I give the advantage there to the Samsung Fascinate because it comes with the 16 gig micro SD card, which is a hefty chunk of memory. If you went to the store and buy that, it would cost you 40 bucks. So I think the memory advantage goes to the Samsung Fascinate. Both of these can do Bluetooth, no problem, of course. The Samsung Fascinate has a single LED on the back for the flash, while the Droid Incredible has 2 LEDs on the back for the flash, which also light up, by the way, if you need extra light while you're taking videos. So I give the advantage there to the Droid Incredible because it has a little more of light to throw when you need pictures or need to do videos. Other than that, the battery for the Samsung Fascinate is a little bit bigger than the battery that's in the HTC Droid Incredible. The Fascinate's battery is 1500 milliamp hour, while the Droid Incredible's battery is 1300 milliamp hours. So that's about a 15% bigger battery. And the advertised talk times are 313 minutes for the Droid Incredible and 350 minutes for the Samsung Fascinate. Those would be in keeping with the higher battery margin that comes in the Fascinate. Both these phones have GPS capability in them, and they also have location capability. So if you activate the location capability, they both know where you are so that they can call up information that's in your local area. That's pretty cool. And both of these phones can work as a 3G hotspot. So both the Fascinate and the HTC Droid Incredible can work as a 3G hotspot, another cool feature. That's pretty much the comparison that I have in the Schmackdown here for the Samsung Fascinate and the HTC Droid Incredible. Both have their pluses and minuses. If you want the latest in the Android operating system, Android 2.2 and the HTC Droid Incredible is the way to go. If you like a larger screen, a prettier screen, and you like the slimmer form factor that probably will sit in a shirt pocket or even a pants pocket a little bit easier than the thicker HTC Droid Incredible, then the Fascinate might be the phone for you. If I had to pick one, I kind of like the Fascinate. Wish I could take it home with me here from the Wirefly Nerve Center in the Wirefly campus. So that's our Schmackdown on the Samsung Fascinate versus the HTC Droid Incredible. Hey, I'm glad you were here with me. I'm Bob, the cell phone professor here at the Wirefly campus, and I'll be seeing you guys around.